Yo, what's good, everybody? I'm rhicky28. Welcome to the YouTube channel. It's Sunday, so we're talking about the roster update. We do roster update videos every Sunday, so if you like this sort of content, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot. Last week, I told you this upcoming roster update is gonna be the biggest one of the year. It is the defense roster update. Last week, we talked about a ton of defensive players and a ton of defensive upgrades. So this week, in order to not repeat myself too much, I'm telling you right now, go back and watch the last video. I'll leave the link right up there. In this update, we're gonna still be talking about a little bit of defense. We're also gonna be talking about some hot hitters and their chances of getting moved up, as well as a whole bunch of pitchers. We didn't talk about too much pitching last week because we were more focused on the defense. So this week, we're switching it up a little bit. The first guy we're talking about is Julio Rodriguez. We mentioned him last week. His defense needs and deserves a boost to both his 64 fielding and his 63 reaction. He's got 2 defensive runs saved on the season, 5 outs above average. He should get some sort of solid boost in his fielding, but we also want to talk about his hitting because we need to see a boost to his power and contact versus righties to go along with that defensive boost. In the past month, Julio Rodriguez has batted .286 with 4 home runs versus righties. Julio has not only the defensive upgrade going for him, but he also has some solid hitting versus righties that could get a boost. I really see this being the week that Julio Rodriguez is going to go diamond. Clay Holmes is a guy that I've been hyped about at various times this year during roster update season. Over the course of the past month, he's had 11.6 Ks per 9. His Ks per 9 in the game are at 68. We need to see a solid boost on that. It's a little concerning because also over that time, he has had 4.8 walks per 9. However, on this season, his walks per 9 numbers are 1.88. It's really not that bad as long as they don't hurt his walks per 9 too much. An 11.6 Ks per 9 should get a big boost from that 68 rating. I really do see Clay Holmes as having a solid chance at getting diamond this week. Taylor Rogers is an interesting case. He just got the bump down from diamond, and we're gonna talk about that decrease in overall in a minute. But the places that Taylor Rogers can really grow the most is in Ks per 9 and walks per 9. He's got 78 Ks per 9, 87 walks per 9. Well, over the course of the past month, he's had 10.2 Ks per 9. That's certainly better than just a 78 rating. And he's also had 0.9 walks per 9. 87 is way under what Taylor Rogers deserves. The reason that Taylor Rogers went from a diamond down to a gold is because they not only decreased his hits per 9, which is completely understandable. He started to give up a couple more hits. Since the last roster update, he's had 3 appearances and given up 0 hits. So that bodes really well for our boy Taylor. The thing that really blows my mind of why Taylor Rogers went from a diamond down to a gold is they minused a bunch of pitching clutch from him. I don't know what pitching clutch is either. I don't know how you quantify that. So realistically, in my mind, Taylor Rogers did not deserve so much of a deduction, and he should probably get the boost up to diamond once again. Andres Gimenez is only 2 overall points away from becoming a diamond. Since the last roster update, he's 1 for 2 with a home run versus lefties. As you can see, his contact versus lefties is only at a 72. His power versus lefties is at an atrocious 45. Yes, it's only 1 home run. Yes, it's only 2 at-bats, but if he continues that pace versus lefties, then he should definitely get a boost to both of those stats. But more importantly, since the last update, batting .455 with a home run and a double versus righties. If he gets a little boost to both power versus righties and contact versus righties and a small boost to contact versus left and power versus left, we could see Andres Gimenez being a diamond. He was an all-star this weekend. He deserves to be a diamond. Let's get him there. We've been talking about Alejandro Kirk for a while. He's been getting slow boosts over and over again throughout almost every single roster update. He's a top 3 defensive catcher in the league. You see his defensive stats: 57 fielding, 63 reaction, 55 blocking. There is a massive amount of room to grow on those stats. His offensive stats have been great since the last roster update. 429 average with 1 home run versus righties, plus a 333 average versus lefties. If he continues hitting home runs versus righties, you'll see that power number get boosted once again, and the average versus lefties is gonna get some quality boost if he continues to hit at a 333 clip. It is a big time jump, 4 points to get to diamond, but I truthfully believe that Alejandro Kirk is teetering on the edge of that with this defensive update. I'm really excited to see if this actually happens because he deserves it. Dylan Cease is an interesting one. I'm not quite convinced that he can go diamond on this update, but he's a guy that you got to keep an eye out for, and we got to continue to monitor his starts. The thing that's preventing him from being a diamond is his walks per 9 number. 46 is really low, but it is the thing that Dylan Cease has struggled with. Well, since the last update, he's had 1 start. He pitched 7 innings, only gave up 1 hit, only walked 2, and he struck out 8 batters. Just in that game alone, that's a 2.57 walks per 9. If he can continue to keep that under control, then he should get a boost to his walks per 9. If he continues to pitch like his last start, his hits per 9 and his Ks per 9 can go up too. So Dylan Cease is a guy that we got to keep an eye on for the rest of the week, and he may not quite get to diamond on this update, but maybe he's worth looking at for the next one. Robbie Ray has been on fire recently. He's been one of the best pitchers in the American League, especially over the past month. We talked about him a couple weeks ago. He did get a little bit of a boost up. He's teetering in my mind in between becoming like kind of a high gold or a diamond. It really depends on how generous SDS wants to be. In the past month, he's got 13 Ks per 9 and 2.4 walks per 9. As you can see, he needs his strikeouts per 9 and walks per 9 numbers to go up. And since the last roster update, he had 1 start. He pitched 6 2/3 innings, and he has struck out 12 and walked none. Robbie Ray definitely deserves a boost in both strikeouts per 9 and walks per 9. I'm just not totally sure that SDS is going to give him enough to get to diamond yet. However, he should get some sort of +1 or +2 boost. Julio Urias is another guy that maybe doesn't get the full boost all the way to diamond, but you can see there's a lot of room to grow in his Ks per 9. In the past month, he's had 10.9 Ks per 9, and he's also had a pretty damn good walks per 9 at 1.7. Even if the strikeouts per 9 don't grow tremendously, he still can grow on the walks per 9 as well. And since the last update, he had 1 start, 7 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, 0 walks. Urias is a guy that should get some sort of a bump up, probably to like a mid, maybe high gold. Triston McKenzie has a ton of room to grow between his strikeouts per 9 and his walks per 9. In the past month, he's pitched 27 innings. He has a 10.0 Ks per 9 and 2.3 walks per 9. And since the last roster update, 8 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts, 0 walks. Triston McKenzie has been doing an amazing job. It's going to be really tough to get a +5 boost to diamond, of course, but if McKenzie continues this pace, he will get a solid bump up to like a mid gold, maybe an 82, maybe an 83 if we're lucky. And we're moving on to 4 silvers that have a solid chance at making it to gold. First up, we're talking about Matt Chapman. He's already got incredible defensive stats. We're focused on his hitting. Since the last roster update, he has batted .333 with a home run and a double versus lefties, and he's batted .500 with 2 home runs versus righties. His contact numbers are incredibly low. His power numbers are kind of in the middle. Either way, as you can see, only a +8 boost to his contact versus right and a +8 to his power versus right, and Matt Chapman is at an 81 overall. We only need him to get to 80 to get to gold, and with contact numbers like that, .333 and 500 versus lefties and righties, Matt Chapman is well on his way to getting the boost to gold. Throw in his power numbers and I think he's gonna get there. Teoscar Hernandez has the most room to grow versus righties. Since the last roster update, Teoscar has batted .333 with a home run and a double versus righties. As you can see, a little bit of a boost if he keeps this pace up is probably gonna get him to gold. All he needs is a +1 to his overall to get there. And on top of that, he's got a .333 average with a home run versus lefties. As long as his numbers versus lefties really anchor his card, all he needs to do is perform a little bit against righties and he'll be a brand new gold. We talked about Gleyber last week. We gotta just talk about that defense. 42 fielding, 42 reaction. That is absolutely horrific for a guy that is top 5 in defensive runs saved for second baseman and top 12 in ultimate zone rating among second basemen. His defensive metrics are so far above the attributes that he has at the moment. I really strongly believe that Gleyber Torres deserves such a good increase to his defense that it should make him a brand new gold. And the last silver we're talking about is a guy that's currently supercharged, Lourdes Gurriel. He only needs +2 overall to get to that gold level. Well, since the last update, a 400 average versus lefties and a 583 average versus righties. Those contact numbers can both get improved. Yes, he already has 88 contact versus right. No, he probably can't keep up a 583 pace versus righties, but if he does keep that up, then they have no choice but to give him a tad bit of a boost to that 88 contact. It's his numbers versus lefties that we're really concerned about. A 400 average is definitely better than 69 contact versus left. I really believe that Gurriel has a legit chance to get the +2 boost and go gold. So those are our roster update predictions for this week. As I said in the beginning of the video, make sure you check out last week's roster update video. We talked a ton about defense, and that is the most important factor in this week's roster update. It is literally going to be the biggest one of the year. The defensive roster update is the best way to set yourself up for the rest of the year in this game in terms of stubs. I will leave a link to that video at the end of this one. I highly suggest you go back and take a look at it because all of that is still relevant for this upcoming roster update. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video. Have a great rest of your weekend. Here's the roster update video that I told you about from last week. Definitely go check it out. The defense is gonna be so vital to this upcoming roster update. And don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thank you so much.